Alright, Infamous Second Son is here. Now, is it the first game that is worthy of going out and getting a PlayStation 4 for? Not quite. Well, let me explain. Infamous Second Son takes the basic premise of the other Infamous games, that the fact that conduits are people with powers and they exist and they're cool, and that's about it. It really ditches everything else you know, for the most part, of the other Infamous games in hopes of creating a new story with a new character in a new world, and overall I think it's very successful. The player takes control of Delson Rowe, a vaguely Native American mischief type guy who lives in Washington State, who discovers that he has powers to absorb other people's powers, kind of like Rogue from X-Men, and then you're dumped into a recreated Seattle, and that's where the game begins. And overall, Second Son is a game that is pretty good, and I think it'll keep you busy for quite a while. Is it the game of the year or a reason to go out and get a PlayStation 4? No, not at all. If you've played an Infamous game before, Infamous 2 being one of my favorite games, I gave it Game of the Year for 2011. If you've played any of the Infamous games before, you pretty much know what to expect here, and you're getting pretty much the same thing, which is a good thing and a bad thing. On the one hand, this is an Infamous game. You have plenty of territory to explore, liberate sections of the city, fight enemies, grow your powers, and the cool thing is that you're not just limited to one power. You have 4 main powers in the game that you get to learn and develop as the game goes on. And on the bad side, it's another Infamous game that doesn't really push things forward or try anything really new. And I don't usually criticize games for that. A lot of times I don't expect a game to push things forward. But with Infamous, something feels missing. Something feels like you need something. You need a little something more than just new powers and a new city. And Second Son didn't really provide that for me, and that's what kind of hurt the experience for me. Having said that, it is a very fun game. It controls very smoothly, it runs very smoothly, and it's challenging as hell. That's what I've always loved about the Infamous games, is the difficulty, and Infamous Second Son is no slouch. Now, despite the map being littered with enemies and the difficulty being up there with the other games, the lack of enemy types I found a little disappointing. In the beginning of the game, you're basically seeing every enemy you're going to be fighting throughout the entire game. There's not really a sense of progression to new enemies with different powers, or gangs like any other Infamouses, and that was a little disappointing. That, coupled with a main storyline mission that all just feels very short, it ends very abruptly, but having said that, it is a great story to play through, and I think that's part of the reason why it felt so quick, is that I loved to see what would happen next, and that's why I kept playing through the main quests. The story of Delson and his character, who I thought was going to be annoying as hell, turned out to be awesome, and Troy Baker knocked it out of the park. I honestly think this is my favorite Troy Baker role. Delson is a vulnerable, naive character who is also very confident, and that's infectious to watch when you play the game. Also, the relationship with his brother, who is a cop, provides for some very interesting scenes that I could not stop watching. The dynamic between Delson and his brother was a lot of fun, very entertaining, but also very meaningful. But what I really give Infamous Second Son props for are the powers. The new powers, which I'm not going to spoil all of them for you, but there is Smoke and Neon and 2 others, are all very creative, are all powers that you don't really see. And I give people credit for, in anything, I give people credit who can come up with a new and exciting superpower, because we've seen so many. We've seen so many superpowers. They've all been there, done that. It's really fucking sweet to see Infamous kind of reinvent things and have really cool powers that make you go, huh, I wonder what that's like. And then you get it, and it's really weird and really cool and really fun to play. That is the area where I think Infamous Second Son is most successful in, and I think it should totally be commended for that. Not to mention, this is a PS4 game. This is the first real PS4 game, and it looks absolutely beautiful. Seattle is really cool. While feeling a little bit empty sometimes, all the Infamous games are kind of guilty of that. It looks beautiful. It's fun to explore. It's unique. There's plenty of hidden things to find that keep you busy but aren't boring, and I think that's cool. It's a powerhouse of a game, and the powers and the city and everything coming together with the effects and explosions and stuff going on, it's really impressive, and it's really worth checking out and showing off your PS4 for. Now, is this the game to go out and buy a PS4 for? Definitely not. Like I said, it feels a little short, and things about it aren't perfect, and especially if you're a fan of Infamous already, there's not too much more here. But it is a solid game. I had a lot of fun recommending it, and if you own a PS4, I definitely go check it out. Definitely. Just don't think it's the perfect game, but you're gonna have a lot of fun. But guys, that's what I think of Infamous Second Son. Most importantly though, let me know what you think of the game in the comments. What's your favorite power? Let me know, and try not to spoil it. Try and allude to the power you're talking about without spoiling it. Good luck. But let me know anything you want about Infamous Second Son, if you've played it or not. Also, let me know what you think of my lack of hair. It's all gone. I'm really upset about it. But as always, guys, I'm Jake Baldino. You can like me on Facebook, you can yell at me on Twitter, and you can subscribe because video games.